Summer is usually the gaming world's quiet season, but this year, everything's flipped upside down. Developers are dropping games in summer to beat the competition. I've put together the top 15 hottest games coming out in June, and trust me, this month is going to be on fire. Enough talk, let's dive in and see what's coming. And of course, we're starting off with the Death Stranding series, which has already become a classic, and the first game left a strong impression on me personally. The sequel, Death Stranding 2 on the Beach, releasing on June 26, 2025, is one of the most anticipated games of the year. It's a unique and brilliant title that gamers either love deeply or completely miss, not quite understanding its genre. The first game grabbed me in its own way. On one hand, I enjoyed the soundtrack and atmosphere, even though that's not usually my style. On the other, that same music and mood created an eerie, post-apocalyptic vibe of total loneliness. The game definitely stuck with me, and now I remember it fondly, so I'm planning to play the sequel as well. Death Stranding 2 expands and deepens the original's ideas. Sam Porter bridges now journeys from Mexico to Australia, facing new threats and mysteries. The world feels more alive and diverse. Day-night cycles, natural disasters like earthquakes, sandstorms, and wildfires affect gameplay. There are more missions, not just deliveries, but also clearing areas and escorting allies, including a wounded kangaroo. Gameplay is more dynamic and varied. You can choose your approach, stealth or open combat, with new weapons and gadgets. The story moves faster, with an in-game glossary and a recap of the first game. Developers listened to player feedback and added handy features like an in-game music playlist. Explaining Death Stranding's appeal is tough. Trailers and gameplay only give a general idea, but once you start playing, your perspective completely changes. It's not just a game, it's an experience that's hard to put into words. I've already made a review of this game in my video about the best PS5 exclusives of the year. The link is in the description and I recommend watching it. Another highly anticipated game is Dune Awakening. The release was originally planned for May 20th, 2025, but got pushed back to June 10th. Funcom took an extra 3 weeks to polish the game after closed beta feedback and ensure a smoother launch. Open tests on PC ran from May 9 to 12, and many players have already experienced the vast world and combat system. Gameplay focuses on survival and base building in the open world of the desert planet Arrakis. You'll fight giant sandworms, harvest spice, build bases, craft vehicles, and join guilds. The story unfolds in an alternate timeline where Paul Atreides never existed, and the Fremen have mysteriously vanished. The power struggle between House Atreides and House Harkonnen is at the core. The game promises a massive living world with dynamic weather and day-night cycles, a deep survival system, and political intrigue. At Gamescom 2024, they showcased vehicle construction, from bikes assembled piece by several players to ornithopters and even siege machinery. The base plays an important role too. It's not just a shelter, but a place to process resources, craft weapons, and build tech. So if you like survival games with huge worlds and aren't afraid of giant sandworms, Dune Awakening is definitely one to watch. Those who pre-order the Deluxe or Ultimate Edition get early access starting June 5 days before the official launch. PS5 and Xbox Series versions will come later. On the same day as Dune Awakening, another title is stirring up some buzz. Mindseye. Developed by Build a Rocket Boy and published by IO Interactive Partners, it's led by Leslie Benzies, former Rockstar North president and one of the brains behind GTA. That alone makes it worth a look. You play as Jacob Diaz, a guy with a mind's eye implant in his head. This tech grants him all sorts of strange powers, hacking cameras, projecting holograms, distracting enemies, and controlling drones. It all takes place in the futuristic city of Red Rock, a place full of secrets and dangers lurking around every corner. The game isn't just about shooting. It mixes puzzles, stealth, and psychological twists that make you think. Closed beta players say the game runs smoothly and the vibe feels like a blend of Cyberpunk and Deus Ex, but without overcomplicating things and with a more polished gameplay. The story is said to be tight and engaging, no endless side quests. Based on reviews on the internet, this game is highly anticipated and already has many fans, and let's figure out why. Built on own Arcadia engine, Mindseye boasts not only cutting-edge visuals with dynamic lighting and physics, but also a living reactive world where your choices actually shape the city around you. Expect adrenaline-fueled vehicle chases with futuristic cars, cover-based shootouts, and even moments where reality itself seems to glitch, buildings shifting, doors vanishing, and the environment morphing in real time. The AI isn't just for show. Enemies coordinate, adapt, and learn from your tactics, keeping every encounter unpredictable. The game launches on PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X or S, and PC via Steam and Epic Games Store. and is also accessible through the Everywhere platform. This is what we will be waiting for. The Alters is an ambitious sci-fi survival game from 11-bit studios set to release on June 13th for PC, PlayStation 5, and Xbox Series. You play as Yondolsky, a simple space miner stranded on a hostile planet after a crash landing. To survive, he creates alternative versions of himself, Alters, each with unique personalities, skills, and perspectives, leading to constant conflicts and moral dilemmas. Gameplay revolves around managing a mobile base, a spaceship that must be moved across the planet to avoid deadly radiation from the scorching sun. During the day, you carefully allocate energy and resources, gather materials to repair and upgrade the base, and at night, you hide from radiation. The accelerated in-game time adds tension and forces quick decisions. A key feature is the interaction between Alters. Despite sharing origins, they have different needs and views, causing conflicts that complicate survival. The modular base system lets you expand and improve the ship, unlocking new resource gathering and defense options. Development started in 2022, and by 2024 the game received praise for its atmosphere and gameplay depth. The Alters will also be available on Xbox Game Pass and PC Game Pass. A free demo is already out on Steam, letting players test core mechanics. FBC Firebreak is pure chaos and fun packed into a 3-player co-op shooter from Remedy Entertainment, launching June 17th on PC, PlayStation 5, and Xbox Series X or S. You and 2 friends join an elite squad tasked with tackling paranormal threats that literally tear reality apart. Expect to face zombies, explosive pink slime, and a whole bunch of other weird and dangerous creatures that'll keep you on your toes. Regarding graphics, FBC is being developed on the proprietary Northlight engine. This engine was previously used in titles such as Control and Alan Wake 2. It delivers high visual fidelity, realistic physics, and supports modern graphical technologies including ray tracing and global illumination, so each area feels unique and packed with atmosphere. Expect realistic physics effects like leaves swirling in the air and debris reacting to explosions, enhancing immersion without sacrificing performance. This game focuses on fast-paced, accessible gameplay without annoying microtransactions or battle passes. Every update is free. Plus, it's available day one on Xbox Game Pass and PlayStation Plus, so you can jump right in without any hassle. Mount & Blade 2 Bannerlord War Sails is a major single-player expansion that finally brings naval warfare and a new northern region full of real Vikings to Calradia. You'll need the base Mount & Blade 2 Bannerlord to play this one. No exceptions. In War Sails, you command a fleet of 18 unique ships, each with its own wind and wave physics. This isn't just point and click, it's the real deal with rams, boarding actions, and shooting arrows at sails to cripple your enemy's maneuverability. Mastering ship handling in unpredictable conditions is key. Otherwise, the waves will remind you who's boss. The new Northern Kingdom is a harsh land of icy fjords and fierce Nordic warriors you can recruit or conquer. The map expands with islands, rivers, and ports that you can upgrade. Naval campaigns open up fresh ways to blockade towns, supply armies, and launch amphibious assaults. Basically, everything you need if you like both land and sea warfare. I can't show you the gameplay itself yet, but we can assume that it won't be much different from the usual Bannerlord if we forget about the sea battles. The expansion launches June 17 on PC, PlayStation 5, and Xbox Series X and S. Dreadzone is a gritty survival shooter with crafting and base building, throwing you into a grim quarantine zone infected by the deadly Xeno29 virus. In this open world, you'll scavenge resources, craft tools, and build shelters to survive among zombies, mutants, wild animals, and hostile survivors. The game features both cooperative play and PvP, so you can team up with friends or engage in intense battles with other players. The choice is yours. Dreadzone offers more than just survival. It's a constant struggle for scarce resources in a zone where enemies aren't only mutants and zombies, but also desperate players willing to do anything for loot. Success depends on smart resource management, fortifying your stronghold, and forming alliances. Currently in early access, player feedback genuinely shapes the game's development and future. Dreadzone impresses with detailed environments, realistic physics, and atmospheric sound design that fully immerse players in its post-apocalyptic world. The roadmap includes farming, animal taming, and deeper weapon customization, promising a rich, evolving survival experience. Releases June 26 on PC. Tron Catalyst feels like Cyberpunk throwing a parkour party inside a vibrant digital world. You play as Exo, a program with a special ability that lets you bend the rules on the fly. Forget boring shootouts. Here you throw discs, get into melee brawls, and race light cycles through neon-lit streets full of secrets and traps. The story isn't just told to you. Your choices shape how it unfolds. Dialogue decisions matter, and skill upgrades let you tailor your playstyle. The levels are huge and multi-layered, packed with hidden paths and secrets boredom isn't invited. Developed by UK-based Bythell Games, Tron Catalyst builds on the universe introduced in Tron Identity, but shifts to a fast-paced, isometric action-adventure format. The unique time manipulation mechanic allows players to rewind events and alter combat scenarios, echoing the feel of titles like Deathloop, but with a distinct Tron twist. Gameplay blends parkour-style traversal, disc-throwing combat with ricochets and melee, and high-speed light cycle races that punctuate exploration. The Identity Disc is customizable with upgrades and abilities, rewarding precise timing and agility over brute force. Puzzle elements require manipulating the environment, hacking terminals, and rerouting energy flows, all while adapting to unpredictable effects caused by the protagonist's abilities. Players will face off against the sinister Program Khan while navigating a collapsing digital realm. The game's narrative evolves based on your success in runs, with a tight story free of filler quests. Tron Catalyst launches June 17 on PC, PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X or S, and Nintendo Switch, promising a fresh, stylish take on the Tron universe with a perfect blend of action, strategy, and neon-soaked atmosphere. Five Nights at Freddy's Secret of the Mimic offers a fresh take on the horror series, dropping you into the abandoned Murray's Costume Manor filled with creepy costumes and mysteries. The main antagonist, the Mimic, is a prototype animatronic that can disguise itself as any costume or character, including the ones that tap into your deepest fears. This guy doesn't just scare you, it adapts to your moves, so there's no time to relax. You'll rely on a limited set of gadgets, motion detectors, and signal disruptors to survive and uncover the secrets of inventor Edwin Murray. The manor is packed with puzzles and cryptic clues, while multiple escape routes and endings add replay value. The Mimic's ability to hide inside costumes keeps tension high. Every corner could hide a surprise. If you're up for genuine psychological horror with solid jump scares and traps, this one's right up your alley. Five Nights at Freddy's Secret of the Mimic will be released on June 13 on PC and PlayStation 5. Zenless Zone Zero is a fast-paced action RPG with a vibrant urban style and a touch of retro nostalgia. You play as a professional exploring dangerous anomalies filled with monsters and unexpected traps at every turn. Combat requires quick switching between heroes, combining their skills and using assistants to handle waves of enemies. This isn't your average shooter. Speed, reflexes, and tactics matter. The atmosphere feels like it's stepped out of a VHS tape, old flip phones, vintage televisions, and a world on the edge of collapse. Every fight is a mini spectacle full of effects and adrenaline, with day-night cycles affecting dangers and opportunities. Zenless Zone Zero has amassed an impressively large and passionate fanbase worldwide, with over 50 million downloads just days after launch. Developed by Hoyoverse on the Unity engine, the game features a unique blend of 3D hack-and-slash combat and strategic team management. Players explore hollows, alternate dimensions filled with puzzles and hostile creatures, while managing a diverse roster of agents and robotic assistants called Bang Boos. The game's distinct aesthetic draws heavily on 1990s pop culture, blending futuristic elements with nostalgic references that enrich its immersive world. Originally released on July 4, 2024 for PC, PlayStation 5, iOS, and Android, Zenless Zone Zero was initially a timed console exclusive on PS5. Now starting June 26, 2025, the game will become available to Xbox Series X or S players, expanding its reach to a wider audience. Wartorn is a tactical roguelite where magic and nature throw a wild party on the battlefield. You command sisters Yara and Alani, who don't just swing swords but put on elemental shows. Fire sets everything ablaze, moving or not. Water makes enemies slip like it's an ice rink, and electricity adds sparks to the chaos. Tar slows foes down, and plants can serve both as shields and traps. Every fight is a dance of elements and tactics where one wrong move can cost you dearly, while clever combos might save your squad and turn the tide. Morale isn't just a stat. It's real. Panicked fighters might ignore orders and run off, leaving you to clean up the mess. Random events depend on your choices, so the story keeps playing cat and mouse with you, throwing unexpected challenges that force you to adapt and improvise. Plus, Stray Kite Studios, formed by veterans from BioShock and Borderlands, promise a deep story with moral choices and progression that carries over between runs. Inspired by classics but with a fresh vibe and deep tactics, every fight is a mini spectacle full of surprises and explosions. Launching June 17 on PC, get your brains and flamethrowers ready. REMATCH is a multiplayer football arcade from the creators of Sifu that breaks all the usual football rules. No offsides or fouls here, just intense 5v5 action where each player controls a single footballer. Standing still without the ball is not an option. You need to constantly move, find positions, and support your team. Matches take place on diverse arenas, from beaches and jungles to space stations, changing not just visuals but the whole vibe. The soundtrack by the algorithm adapts to the gameplay, adding extra energy. A key feature is the ability to signal readiness to receive the ball by raising your hand, improving team communication and tactics. Goalkeepers don't just block shots but join attacks as extra midfielders. Developed by Slowclap, inspired by Rocket League and Overwatch, the game took 3 years to create, offering a fresh take on football focused on teamwork and skill. Launching June 19th on PC, PS5, and Xbox Series X or S. Available day one on Xbox Game Pass. System Shock 2 25th Anniversary Remaster is the legendary 1999 classic finally getting a proper makeover. Night Dive Studios spent nearly 6 years turning the old FPS RPG into a modern masterpiece that keeps its dark atmosphere and hardcore spirit. Now supporting 4K and 120 FPS. With DualShock 4 and DualSense controller support, so even keyboard skeptics can feel like space cowboys. Gameplay stays true to the classic, survival, skill upgrades, and exploring dark corridors where one mistake means a quick trip back to the loading screen. Hacking isn't just button mashing anymore, it's a real puzzle involving node connections, keeping your brain busy without frying it. Co-op and mod support bring fresh life to the game and let you unleash chaos with friends. Boredom is definitely not invited. If you thought space was for romance, System Shock 2 will remind you it's for the tough and a little crazy. The remaster is built on Night Dive Studios' proprietary Kex engine, featuring improved visuals, enhanced gameplay, mod support, and over 50 new trophies and achievements. Every aspect has been refined to offer the definitive System Shock 2 experience for both new players and longtime fans. Launching June 26, System Shock 2 Remaster will be available simultaneously on PC and consoles. Star Overdrive is a fast-paced sci-fi open-world action game where you zoom across alien landscapes on a hoverboard, exploring mysterious biomes and uncovering the secrets of a distant galaxy. Inspired by the Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild but with its own cosmic twist, no horses here, just hoverboards you can upgrade to boost speed, handling, and even gravity to fit your playstyle. Combat is dynamic and fought right on your hoverboard. Jumps, tricks, and boosts are essential for survival and navigating the massive world spanning over 170 square kilometers. The diverse biomes feature unique physics, from scorching sands to watery expanses where your hoverboard handles differently, encouraging strategic adaptation. Developed by Caracal Games, an Italian indie studio founded in 2015 that has grown from a small team into a group of experienced developers with AA and AAA backgrounds. Star Overdrive originally launched on Nintendo Switch in April 2025, marking a key milestone for the studio. Players take control of Bios, who wields a unique musical instrument called the keytar to manipulate the environment and combat enemies, adding a fresh layer of tactical depth to gameplay. Built on a custom engine optimized for smooth hoverboard mechanics and dynamic environments, the game features expansive and varied regions filled with environmental puzzles and epic battles against a variety of creatures ranging from nimble foes to colossal bosses. Star Overdrive launches June 19th on PS5, Xbox Series X or S, and PC. BitCraft Online is an ambitious open-world MMORPG that's already gathered a devoted fan base and caused quite a buzz online. Let's find out why. The game features a massive, player-editable world where you can do everything from farming and hunting to city building and deep social strategy. It's not just about swinging swords. It's a blend of survival, crafting, RPG, and city building. So if you thought you'd just run around hacking stuff, think again. You start as a mysterious creature in the wild and need to build shelter before becoming someone else's lunch. Skills improve through practice, and characters are blank slates you fill in yourself, choosing your own path. Together with others, you can build towns, unite them into empires, trade and run economies. A true social game where your neighbor might be your fiercest rival or best ally. Clockwork Laboratories promises ongoing development, mod support, and even open source code to let the community shape the game's future. Launching June 20 on PC. As an extra to the list, a bonus game. Stellar Blade is finally coming to PC in June 2025, which is great news for those who like to check out every little detail. The main heroine Eve isn't just a badass warrior, she's also a visual magnet with attractive curves and stylish outfits that definitely catch the eye. Originally a hit on PS5 last year, the game promises to shine even brighter on PC with enhanced graphics and optimization. Alongside the PC release, the long-awaited Goddess of Victory Nikki DLC will drop. New bosses, costumes, and fresh challenges. The developers promise a smooth port with Steam Deck support so you can play pretty much anywhere. Combat is fast and flashy, graceful yet brutal combos, new moves and weapon upgrades, and boss fights that'll test both your brain and reflexes. Stellar Blade is a great example of how games can blend beauty and adrenaline. By the way, I've already done a review of the main heroine Eve and other top hot female game characters from the past decade in one of my previous videos. I'll leave a link if you're single and looking for something to keep your hands busy. Now, I'm really curious, what game are you most hyped for this summer? Drop your thoughts in the comments. And as always, smash that like button, hit subscribe, ring the bell, and I'm off to cook up more fresh content for you.